All right, hello everybody. This is the 200th episode of the Hardcore Self-Help Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Robert Duff, aka Duff the Psych. I make mental health content for real people just like you. And so 200th episode, I'm doing things a little bit differently today. I had a lot of different thoughts about what I might do for this episode. Things like maybe doing a best of episode where I compile some of the best answers to questions that have been asked so far, or an episode where I share success stories, or an episode where I reflect back on the past. I think it's been 4 years since I started the podcast, something like that. But as of right now, so it's March 17th, 2020 at the moment. And this week I have been at home so far, along with my wife, along with the kids, and we have been sheltering here during this whole coronavirus outbreak. And all signs have been pointing me toward maybe doing something related to that. Now, there have been a lot of different articles, YouTube videos, lives on, for various social media platforms, all sorts of stuff like that, that have been very helpful in terms of sharing, psychological tips, all sorts of things you might need to know in dealing with this. What I haven't seen yet is a guided relaxation. So that's what I want to do with you today. I want to do a guided relaxation to help you to just relax, to help you let go a little bit, to help you turn off, because I think that one of the things that is going on for a lot of people is just this chronic state of worry and uncertainty. I've certainly been out there. It's so funny just how fast things change. I've been out there, out in public recently. Today I went out to the grocery store and took the kids out for a little while because the rain finally let up. That's another thing that's been fun about this whole quarantine lifestyle, is the rain hasn't let us leave at all. So we got out today, and I got out today to go to the grocery store, and the world feels different. It feels bleak and apocalyptic. There's no bread on the shelves. There's no, milk on the shelves. There were hardly any diapers on the shelves. So it's normal to feel weird, about what's going on right now. But I think that for a lot of us, I think we're so weirded out by what's going on, and so sort of glued to the moment-to-moment update and just trying to get through it all, that we don't have the chance to turn our brain off and rest and recover, which is so vital. When you're going through something like this, or any other sort of, disaster situation, anything that's difficult and ongoing, not just one moment of fight or flight where your body can adjust and do what it needs to do. We're talking over days, over weeks, who knows what the timeline is. These kind of long-term stress, hypervigilant, just over aware of what's going on situations can be very, very draining, and we can fall into these patterns of not taking good care of ourselves because of that. Not sleeping well, not eating well, not doing the things that we might normally do to take care of our body and our mind and all of these things that are important. So I want to help out with that a little bit. What I would like to do first is just give a few pieces of advice, just a few of my thoughts about getting through this situation together, and then guide you through some breathing and some visualization. And the goal here, again, this is to help you unwind, to help you relax. If you want to use this to help you sleep, that would totally be cool too. So any chance you have to give yourself a moment to just recover, please let me be a part of that. Please let me help you with that. Okay? So first off, I want to just validate how you're feeling. Whether you're feeling like this is all, dumb and you're ready for the world to get over it, whether you're feeling like, oh, I wish I took this more seriously earlier, whether you're feeling like, oh, I have no idea what I'm going to do from here. I don't know how I'm going to care for my loved ones. I don't know, what's going to happen with the state of the world. I don't know what's going to happen to my money, whatever. I would just want to validate how you're feeling. There's no right way to feel about this. This is something that is strange and kind of unprecedented, at least in our time. And it's something that you're not supposed to know how to deal with and how to handle. So whatever your feelings are, it's okay that you have them. It's all right to feel mixed up. It's all right to feel scared. It's all right to feel confused. It's all right to feel frustrated, angry, whatever the case may be. Just let yourself feel those things. They don't have to dominate every moment of your life. You don't have to feel, if you're feeling negative emotions, you don't need to feel those at every single moment. But you also don't need to beat yourself up for having them. It's okay that you're having them because that's normal. Normal for a situation like this, absolutely. I think that it makes a lot of sense to try to practice some good habits during this time. Everything can kind of be up in the air. A lot of us, myself included, have had our lives basically upended by this situation. I'm not working right now like many of us. My job is to work with primarily elderly people, which means that I'm working with an at-risk population, and the nature of my job is spending several hours with them face to face, which doesn't sound like the best idea right now. So as of this moment, I'm not doing that work. My kids are home from school, like many, 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 many other people out there. So, things are very different this week than they were the week before for a lot of us. And so when there's so much that's uncertain, so much that's upended, so much that's odd, it can be very, very helpful to see what sort of habits, rituals, routines can you stick with. Whether that's exercise routines, whether that's meditation, whether that is journaling, whether that is simply things like making sure you eat your meals at the dinner table. If you have family traditions, any sense of normalcy you can bring to the situation is going to be helpful. Now, you may need to roll with the punches as things come up. You may not be able to do things in exactly the right way as you normally would, or you might find fun opportunities to do things differently because you want to, and all of that is okay. But things don't need to just be completely upended in every sense because we're going through something odd and different. I have this memory of when I was a kid, we used to make these earthquake kits in school where we'd get a plastic bag and fill it with, non-perishable or less perishable foods that would last a long time, and different things that would be like sort of an emergency kit in the event of an earthquake. And we'd bring those to school, and they'd put them together and have an earthquake, kit for every kid in the classroom. And at the end of the year, we'd bring them home, and that was like a fun thing to have. And I remember having that at home, and there was an earthquake at home, when I wasn't at school, I was at home, there was an earthquake. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night from the earthquake and getting super amped and be like, oh, let's break open the earthquake cake. Let's eat all this stuff. Let's do everything. And just because there was this sort of emergency situation, and in this case, it wasn't really an emergency. It was just a decent earthquake, and it was, the house was rocking, and then it was done. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, something's different. Let's do things differently. And everything needed to change. I wasn't sleeping that night. I wanted to eat all the stuff in my earthquake kit. And, you can really go wild with things when your routine and the normal part of life gets switched around on you. So we want to be careful of that in this situation as well. If you've already eaten through half your quarantine stacks, I understand. It's very tempting to do, especially when you're staying in the same place all the time. But try to keep some sense of normalcy wherever you can. If you have, routine D&D nights with your friends, move those online. If you have a dance class that you normally do, maybe you could do something where you guys are FaceTiming together, or at least listening to the same song and dancing or something like that. Try to bring some sense of normalcy to the situation. And with the internet, luckily we still have that available to us, and that allows us to do a lot of things in a different way that we might be able to do in person. Things like video conferencing, things like even there are apps and extensions you can use to watch the same Netflix video at the same time as other people. There's a lot of really interesting ways to connect, and I think that's another important point, is to stay connected with your support network, with people that you love and care about, and even, with new people, making new friends. There's a lot of opportunity for connecting with people here. Another way that you might be able to do that sort of connection is through online therapy. For a lot of people out there, you are going to be losing the opportunity to meet with your routine therapist that you see, every week or every 2 weeks, what have you, because of this. A lot of therapists will be making the jump to doing telehealth, so practicing their therapy online. There are a variety of platforms that allow you to do that in a way that's compliant with the healthcare privacy laws. And there are others who will not want to do that. And if that's the case, there are other options out there. I've talked about BetterHelp on the podcast a lot. There are apps like Talkspace. There are apps like 7 Cups. There's a lot of different options. You could also find, a provider that is a private provider that wants to do online therapy, whereas maybe your therapist does not. And you could use them as sort of a bridge until you can have a regular in-person appointment. But, you can continue that sort of continuity of care, even if you don't have, the opportunity to be in the office and do things as normal. So I want to say as well that I think it is very important in a situation like this to be reasonable with yourself about the amount of media you're consuming, the amount of news, the amount of updates. It's very normal in a situation like this to just be endlessly scrolling on your phone, refreshing, scrolling, and just trying to find the most up-to-date information. Now, it makes sense to be informed. It makes sense to know what's going on, and I think that you should, because how else are you going to respond appropriately? But in the moment-to-moment basis, you don't always have to check things all the time. And a lot of times, as I've said in other podcasts, other meditations even that I've done, sometimes it makes sense to wait a little bit, to let things change, to let things develop, so that you can get a better idea of the real information rather than, oh, somebody said this. Okay, let's try to verify that. Okay, let's see these other people. What are they saying about it? And trying to triangulate the truth. And a lot of times, if you just wait an hour, that information becomes a lot more solidified and a lot more clear. So you don't always need to be up on every single thing at every single moment. If there's an update that's massively important for you to know at that moment, if there's something going on with, who knows, like the economy, the military, something that everybody has to know, you're going to find that out either way. That's going to come through in a text message or a phone call or a push alert on your phone from the news app, something like that. You're going to figure that out. And the rest of the stuff, keep, aware of it, but don't feel like you need to get the constant stream of information directly plugged into your brain, because that's going to put you into that heightened state where you are on edge, you are waiting for the next shoe to drop, and you're never able to relax, as we're hoping to do right now. This is easier said than done for a lot of people. So one thing that I would suggest is at least putting aside times where you're intentionally setting the phone down, intentionally getting away from the news, the media, trying to get a little bit of a break from that. And you could pair that with self-care activities, things like yoga, meditation, a nap, spending time with your family or friends, doing an activity, anything like that. Or you can simply just say, hey, these are the hours that I'm not going to be checking my phone. Whatever you do during that time is fine, whether that's sleeping or playing games, whatever. But set aside some times where you're keeping those sacred. You're not doing the endless scroll. You're not doing the endless media consumption, because that's going to help you to be a little bit more rested, turn off a little bit more, so that you can better approach things and have your head on straight when you do get that information, when it is more solidified. And the last thing that I'll say is just have a little bit of understanding with yourself that, as I said before, you are going to feel however you feel from this, and that's okay. And everybody's experience of this is slightly different. We're all going through it together, but it's all different as well. We have different life circumstances. We have different resources at our disposal. We have different types of involvements with our job or school or what have you. And so this is going to affect people in different ways. So if you find that you are struggling more than other people seem to, that's okay. Don't be afraid to reach out for support from the people around you, from the people that you're connected to in whatever way, from your support networks. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to feel how you feel. We're going to get through this together. I don't know that everything's going to be okay, whatever that means, very quickly. Who knows? I'm not to say. I do know that anybody who's listening to this has been through every hardest day of their lives. You have been through every single hardest day you've ever been through. and you've made it out alive. So have some confidence in your ability to adapt, in your ability to persevere, in your ability to get through, even in a situation like this where there are so many unknowns and variables that you just don't have the answer to. That's the truth. Things are up in the air. Things are unpredictable. We don't know where things are going to go. But you have a great track record to fall back on, and we can do this. All right? So let's switch gears here. Let's go ahead and get into the actual guided relaxation portion. So if you're not yet, get yourself into a comfortable position. Find a place that you can sit or lie down and just rest your body. And we're going to start off, as I always do, just by taking 3 deep breaths together. Okay, so settle in. And I will tell you to inhale, to hold it, and to exhale. So just follow along with me. Okay, deep breath in. Hold it. And exhale. Again, in. Hold it. And out. Last time. In. Hold it. And exhale. Good. So just loosen up your shoulders, roll those around a little bit, and your head side to side. Wiggle your toes, stretch your legs, just sort of touch base with your body and be present, be here with me, listen to the sound of my voice. If you drift off, that's okay. If you're still awake, just redirect your attention back to my voice. If you're asleep, you rest well because you deserve it. I want you to take a moment to visualize with me, to think about a place that you would love to be right now. Specifically, a place that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel good and safe and held and at ease. Just take a minute to cycle through some options in your mind. You don't have to pick the perfect place. Whatever comes to mind, and it could be anything. For some of you, this may be at a beach. For some of you, this may be at a library. For some of you, this may be in front of the fire in your own home. For some of you, this may be at your parents' house. For some of you, this may be in a spaceship, looking down at the earth from space. This could be anything. Where is your safe space right now? This may be different if you come back to this meditation multiple times. But I want you to think about that place. If you've thought about it, I want you to take a deep breath, and as you exhale, what I want you to do is really breathe life into that visualization. Take it from your 2-dimensional picture to a 3-dimensional mindscape. Put yourself there in that place. See the sights, hear the sounds, smell whatever's there. Really get yourself there, okay? So take a deep breath in. And out. Now, in addition to being in the perfect place, I want you to reach out and grab hold of the perfect beverage for you. Whatever that might be. I'm not going to judge. It could be anything from water to tea to a nice old-fashioned cocktail to some matcha, whatever sounds great to you right now and fits well with your safe space. You have it in hand. Just take a sip of that. Super refreshing, super calming, exactly what you need. Observe how you're here in the present moment, connected to your body. The worries, the fears, the thoughts, they're still there, but they're drifting farther away. They're in the background, and that's where we want them to be right now. You don't need to figure everything out. You need to rest. Deep breath. You need to rest. So as you imagine yourself in your perfect safe space, I want you to find a place in that mindscape to lie down, to close your eyes, to be still, to feel what it feels like to be in your body as it relaxes, as it drifts away from the day and releases the tension that's built up there. Every breath you take brings you closer and closer to a beautiful, perfect state of relaxation and safety and comfort. Let's take a deep breath in again, and this time we're going to blow it out just through little pursed lips, just like that. We're going to blow it out slowly through those pursed lips. And as we do, really, really, really try to allow that to dissolve the tension in your neck, in your shoulders, and that whole upper part of your body. Okay, deep breath. Blow it out. Good. Feel the warmth, the light tingle in those muscle groups that I was talking about in your neck and your shoulders. We're going to repeat this process again, breathing deeply and blowing it out nice and slow. This time we're going to draw our attention to our chest, our upper back, that whole band all the way around. Lots of attention on that because we're doing a lot of breathing. We're doing a lot of feeling. We're doing a lot of carrying burdens. And this is a very, very important part of our bodies to pay some attention to. So deep breath in. As you exhale, let go of that tension. Very good. Moving along now. Let's move on to your belly and your lower back. Again, that whole band all the way around. Your core, your midsection, this part of your body that stabilizes you, that keeps you grounded. Again, very deserving of our attention as we're trying to ground ourselves in our bodies in this present moment right now. Deep breath in and hold it this time. Big exhale completely. Perfect. And whether you're sitting or lying down, next we're going to focus on the next band all the way around, basically below our waist and above our knees. So your glutes, your thighs, that whole section. If you've been doing a lot of playing, a lot of walking, a lot of pacing, a lot of standing, this is a part of your body that also deserves some attention. So deep breath in and hold it. And let that tension go. Good. And the last section of our bodies that we're going to focus on is from our knees down to the tips of our toes. Shins, calves, heels, toes, balls of your feet, all of this. The part that connects you to the ground all throughout the day. Deep breath. Let it out. Good. You're doing a really good job. And I think you can feel the difference from the tip of your head working down your neck, your shoulders, back, down, 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 down your legs, into your feet, all the way back up. Much more relaxed, much more soft, much more grounded, comfortable, peaceful. Allow that sensation to fill you. Allow it to sink in, not just on the surface, but sink in deeply. Being here in your perfect safe space. The sights, the sounds, the smells that you want to be around. By yourself or with the people that you want to be there. It's up to you. I want you to feel the safety. I want you to feel the comfort of this space and the relaxation that your body feels right now. And the way that you feel just a bit less worried, a bit less scared, a bit less uncertain. Keep all those things together in this place, in this safe space, because this is a place that you can come back to whenever you need to. Deep breath, and again, I want you to imagine the surroundings here in your safe space. Beautiful. Remember, you can come back here whenever you need. You can give yourself the moment to take a few deep breaths, to get away from the world, to recharge your batteries, to allow yourself the rest that you deserve, because you do deserve it, and you do need it. So as we finish up here, we're going to do a few more deep breaths together. But what I want you to do is I want you to put your hand, or both your hands, over your heart. And with each breath, we're going to breathe into our hearts, filling it with that sense of comfort, filling it with that sense of safety that we feel in this perfect safe space that we're in. So breathe your breath into it and expel the stress out in the same way that we have been doing with your hand over your heart now. So deep breath in. And out. Good. It's okay if you feel some emotion during this. Again, deep breath in. Out. Last one. In. Out. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you need to get back to your day, give yourself just another couple minutes to be in this space. Then give yourself a nice stretch, like a cat or a dog waking up from a nap, and get back to what you need to do. If you have the opportunity to keep resting, or even go to sleep, please do so. You're not weak. You're actually very, very strong for taking this moment. This was worth it, and it will be worth it next time. You got this.